for playing, USF for the first time and seeing them on film, did not do it justice for, how strong they are offensively and then their ability to shoot the basketball. They, just seeing a team, make 9 threes in the first half. They did a really good job of moving the ball and sharing it, playing off each other, and they have a lot of guys out there that can really knock down open shots. And they found themselves open, and they made them, made us pay when they got their looks.
Jaylin, why the lack of composure at points in this game? It's something Coach and you all have been talking about all season.
I would just say, as far as just not following the game plan, I just think that just comes from just not listening to Coach. If every game we went out and just listened to Coach Dawkins and go out and just listen to our coaching staff and execute what we were supposed to do, we'll be fine. So I just think that started in practice.
Jaylin, what was at the beginning of the game? It was a slow start. I know that's kind of been a recurring theme at times this season. What did you see early on, and what changed after maybe that 10-minute mark?
We kind of came out sluggish, kind of let them get us rattled, and they came down and we didn't follow the game plan. They came out hitting threes, and their losses they made 6 threes, and their wins they made 9. They made 9 in the first half.
Jaylin, it was before the game. They announced that you're coming back next year. What goes behind that decision? And I know it's a disappointment for this evening, but what does it mean to come back and try to get another season into this program?
Just having a great coach on my side. Coach Dawkins is probably my best coach I ever had in my life. So with just him believing in me, I never want to play for another coach in college basketball ever if it's not him. The only way I believe in him is to the league. So I won't never leave Coach Dawkins. He had my back since I got here, as well as the other coaches. So, but the belief that he had in me, man, I love him to death.
Speak a little bit more on that. What has Coach Dawkins done for you? You've been here, since last summer and everything. He made the decision to transfer here. How has he helped you grow your game and maybe become a better player?
Without him even knowing, he kind of was another father figure for me. Just by him just leading by example every day in practice. Me and him have the same mentality. When I look in his eyes, I see me, and I'm pretty sure that he see a little me in him. So just being able for him believing in me, man, and I can get very emotional just talking about it. He ain't have to believe in me, A lot of things in the transfer portal, a lot of kids go the other way. I was fortunate to have a coach like him to believe in me. So I'll never take that for granted.
Jaylin, how do you think when you look back on the season, years from now, how do you think you're going to remember it?
I remember it, I would kind of say we underachieved this season. Just with the group of guys that we had in that room, probably the best team I've ever been on. So I think we underachieved. No matter where they put us at, we underachieved by far. We underachieved. We just gotta have people to just follow the game plan, man. Just listen to coach, bro. If we had that, this season would have went a whole nother way.
Jaylin, you were learning what the war on I-4 means. This is the first time playing in it. Did it feel like an intense rivalry out there?
Most definitely. I knew it would feel like that. Just hearing about the rivalries, and also I knew a couple of those guys. That coach recruited me coming out of high school, so I knew those guys as well as Chris Youngblood. I talked to him over the phone when the first time I entered the portal my freshman year, so I know those guys pretty well. They're from around the area that I'm from.
You guys had a lot of big wins this season, but the way you lost to BYU in the Big 12 tournament and tonight, does it diminish some of the positives that you have this season?
I wouldn't say that it diminished the positives that we have. I just think our time just ran out. I felt like we was in any game to win, but we started off slow. So I just feel like we just gotta. For me personally, if I just wanna speak the real, for me personally, this summer, I'll make sure that this won't happen again. That's just my opinion. Just make sure that I never be in this position again. I appreciate the NIT for accepting us to playing here, but I don't see us playing in this tournament. Not while I'm here.
Coach, you talked about how the USF made 9 3-pointers in the first half to get out to that lead, but of course UCF your team was able to get it to within like a basket or two close to the end. What was the biggest difference between this UCF team in the second half versus the first half?
Well, I thought we really locked in and focused on what we to do to take away the 3-point shot from them. As you said, we started getting stops. And when we get stops, we haven't been the best shooting team all year. That's not been our strength. Our strength has been playing in the full court, getting out, running, getting to the basket. We know who we are. And that's why we press and do those things, because it kind of gives us a way to score the ball with easier baskets than in the half court. And so when the lead got cut to 2, and we had 5 straight possessions, we had some good looks. I mean, we had some good looks. I mean, but, we got to be able to cash those in those situations. And the difference is they were able to, at that point, cash those possessions in, after we cut to 2. Because it was a 2-point lead for probably about, it felt like 4 or 5 minutes, and we were defending well, but we just couldn't knock down a shot. And we've gone through that all year. We've been really good, but the one thing that we've struggled with this year has been consistency of shooting the basketball from the perimeter. And that's something that they do extremely well. And seeing them and scouting them, usually they're out there on the floor with at least 4 guys at all times that's shooting, mid 30s to 40% from behind the arc, and it showed. And they've done it at home and on the road. I watched everything. I scouted them hard. Home, on the road, it doesn't matter. Those guys were really good shooters throughout the year, and it showed again today.
Darius came out with a strong second half. Was a big reason why you were able to narrow that lead to 2, and he picks up his 3rd and 4th fouls. Kind of questionable, obviously. How much did that hamper things, having to sit him for an extended period of time?
Definitely, 2-point game, and then you're taking out one of your best perimeter players. I mean, he and Jaylin, are 2 leading scorers, and so now you're taking a big piece off the floor, and he sat out there up until about the 6:38 minute mark. He sat for probably 5 minutes, 6 minutes almost straight because we couldn't afford to have him out there the way they were playing and pick up his 5th early. So, that having him in during that time when it was a 1-2 possession game, 2 and 4 point lead, definitely would have helped us because you have another threat out there on the floor.
2 possession loss, you go 12 of 23 from the line.
Yeah,
How much does that sting?
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, it kills us. That's, to me, if you want to say, if you mention one thing that's the ball game, that's the ball game. We didn't shoot from the line, 52% from the line. I mean, you can't go in a game like this against another good team and shoot that poorly from the free throw line. And so, I was surprised. We had some guys that are, some really good free throw shooters go up there and miss a few of them. And then we started the game when it was a good game. We go up there and miss 2. Then get fouled again, go up there and miss another 2. So that just gives the team life that you're playing against.
Is it a gut punch too? Yes,
it is. It definitely is. Because you have to make people pay when you get fouled. I mean, every player, that's the one thing I start with as a young player. You have got to knock down a healthy percentage of your free throws. That's how you're going to win games. You cannot go up there and shoot a poor percentage from the line. And we did tonight, so that definitely didn't help us.
Coach, in so many ways you outperformed expectations this year. You had so many big wins, but then the way it ends, do you feel like you put together a solid enough performance to say, hey, we want to be back here next year doing the same thing? Obviously, you're still under contract, but do you feel like you put on paper what you wanted to say, I need to be here next year?
That's up to everyone to make that decision. Me, I'm excited. I expect to be back here.
He did.
I'm excited. I expect to be back here. I loved coaching UCF from day one. You guys all know that. And I always going to pour my whole heart into this university because they gave me a chance to be the coach here. So for me, no question, I'm excited to get started. I think the administration, I think everyone believes in me and what we're doing here. And yeah, it's never going to end right for you no matter what unless you win the championship. So whether you won the league championship or the conference championship in the tournament or this tournament championship, it's only going to win one way or another. You're either going to win the whole thing or you're going to end up getting beat by someone along the way, and that's going to be, ending your season. And unfortunately, we got beat, and that's ending our season. But I think our guys, gave a great effort. I think we showed we can compete against the best teams in the country on a nightly basis. I think we've shown that. I thought, even tonight, I didn't think we played a great basketball game, and we still had a chance to coming down the stretch of this game, still a 2-point game with about 6 or 7 minutes to go in the game after being down 15. So I think our guys have shown, that they have fight, they have character, and that they're being coached hard enough to go out there and compete like that.
With being in the Big 12 this year, the games that you played on the road at home, the success, the downs, have you had a chance, did you take notes during the year, or is now the time that the season's over, you know what you need to go get, you know what you need to move forward and elevate the program? Are you there yet, or do you need time?
No. I have a really good idea of what we need, going forward. We're looking at that throughout the entire year. as we're playing the other Big 12 teams to determine what we got to do, who we're matching up against, what they have, their style of plays in the conference, whether it's physicality or shooting or whatever it may be, rebounding. We're studying that every team that we play to find out what the theme is in this league and what talent level you got to have to be successful. So definitely, we've been engaged with that the entire time.
Coach,
What kind of a leap was it, just from the AAC to the Big 12? I mean, it looked like from the outside in it was a completely different game at times.
No, it is. Definitely a different game. Physicality, and the American is a physical league, don't get me wrong. And this league was even more physical than the American. And I thought the American had been the most physical league I had played in. I had been in the ACC, I had been in the Pac-12, but the most physical league I had played in up until this year was the American. So I knew it may be a little bit of an adjustment because I heard the Big 12 was a little more physical, and it was true. It's a more physical league, and so you have to make sure that you recruit and prepare for that, because if not, it's a long season. Your guys get beat up, they get hurt, so you have to make sure you have the right type of personnel that can survive, a season in that conference.
Coach, you were saying earlier, it felt like the deficit was just 2 points for like 6 minutes. When you guys are like that close for that long, but you can never, tie the game and eventually take the lead, does that become frustrating? Like, what's your mindset during those moments?
Of course, you just, I'm a next play guy, so when something doesn't work out, get a moving screen violation, or we don't hit the shot that we think we're going to hit, I just move on. I don't dwell on what happened if it didn't work out for us. I got to keep my mind on, okay, what's the next play? What do we want to run? What do we want to do, next with regards to, defensively, what we're getting ready to do. So, I have to go on. I can't dwell on those situations. I just want to make sure we get good shots on goal. And I thought we had some good shots on goal. Got to the line. I thought we had some good shots on goal. Like I said before, that we've been inconsistent from the perimeter all season long. There's nothing new. We've won most of our games basically on defense. And so when that defending at that level in this game, we give up 49 points in the first half, that puts a whole lot of pressure on a team offensively that hadn't been, consistent.
Coach, after a full season of playing in this Big 12 conference, what do you think is the biggest biggest key to success in Big 12 basketball?
Well, I think you definitely have to be able to defend, at a high level every single night that you play. You have to be a really good defensive team to win at this level, because everybody is so good. Everybody has talented players. So you got to be able to lock in defensively. And then you have to be able to shoot the basketball consistently from the perimeter. You have to have shooting. You just have to have it. And so 2 things I say is, 1, defensively, you got to be able to defend at a high level, and you have to be able to knock down shots consistently.
Coach, how do you think you're going to look back and view this season?
Well, I'm always going to look back and view unless I win the championship, and that I won't be happy, because, I'll feel like Jaylin feel. I feel like we underachieved for what we thought we could do. And, I'll carry that with me. But that motivates me. I love that as motivation because I know the standards that I want for this program at UCF are higher than that. And so until they get where I want them to be, and when we're not there, I'm never going to be satisfied, period. And then when we get there, I still wouldn't be satisfied, just so you know, because I'll try to find something else that we have to try to achieve and conquer.
Johnny, how quickly do you turn the page and start focusing on next season?
We have to, that's immediate for us. We have to be able to, transition to, what's next for us. Like I said, I'm a next play guy, and that includes what's going on now for us. The season ends, but what we have to do is, as a program, what we have to do as a staff continues on right away. The portal just opened up, yesterday, and I just find that, really remarkable, considering teams are still playing and you open the portal up. I don't think that's I wish they would revisit that, and let all the teams finish playing, let the national championship game be played maybe before we open the portal up and, have this kind of disruption. So, so we have to start, refocusing on the next phase of what we do, which is now, it's all year long, you're recruiting anyway, and then you start circling in and the portal's open to find out, what are good fits or what's the best fit for your team.
Coach, you talked about underachieving Jaylin, you mentioned it. Do you sense fans' frustration with that? Does that diminish the accomplishments of this season?
Well, hopefully it doesn't diminish the accomplishments based on, I think, the world's expectations or the league's expectations. Obviously we overachieved. for what people thought we were going to do. I don't think anybody can sit here and go and thought we'd win some of the games or win as many games as we won in the Big 12. I can't think of too many people except the people that I was coaching in the locker room who believed that, to be quite frank. And so that, I take it, is that we did overachieve in a year based on what public perception would be. That's just not my standard. I don't come from that. You know, everywhere I've been, we've won, and we've won at a level where, we have to do better than we've done this year, to be quite frank.
At this point in your tenure here, what do you think the line is on your coaching at this university?
My line?
Your record, your accomplishment. What do you think you've accomplished?
I think easily. Let's go. This is my 8th year, and we've been in postseason 4 of those 8, I believe, right? And so let's start there. We've been in postseason 4 out of 8 years, 3 NITs and 1 NCAA tournament. And in a league that, arguably, as you saw about USF tonight, they're not in the tournament. In a league that you're not taking as many bids as you probably could take to me in that league. I thought we didn't take as many when I was in the league either for as good as the teams that were in that conference. So you fall short sometimes because of that, but we still were able to prove with our record non-conference and record in conference that we were able to play in the postseason. And so these guys, for instance, this year are going to put a banner up there. They'll be an NIT banner, but they'll put a banner up in this arena. And we've established, 4 banners in this arena in 8 years. And like I said, and haven't achieved what we would like to achieve, because I know we can be better and do better. We changed leagues. Now we went from the American, when Cincinnati leaves, Houston leaves, and now you're you go with them to the Big 12, which is the best basketball conference in the country, and nobody will argue that. And so when you go to that conference, you have to step your game up, and I thought our guys did. And then again, we were able to get to the NIT, which means you finished out the year as one of the top 100 teams in the country, hands down, to get in that tournament. 64 NCAA teams, 32 NIT teams. And so out of 355 Division I teams, you're one of the last 100 teams that was still standing at the end of a year. I don't think anyone, again, would have expected that to happen. I don't think that would have been expected.
What more do you need to take it to another level?
Well, we need to get out there. We need to get out and recruit, and we need to continue to bring in guys that can compete at our level. I think we talked about that earlier, about getting into the portal, finding guys that will fit our system, and find guys that will be able to, be successful at the Big 12 level. We have to be able to do that, and that's what we're going to do.
More resources, more fan support, more administrative support.
Last one from Matt Michelle.
Well, of course. I mean, we've had a great community. I think the community's really rallied around us, which has been amazing. I think our support has been really good. I can tell by our arena and fan support and our student section. I mean, they're doing their part, and we have to continue to do our part. It's my job to get out there, and our staff's job to get out there, and continue to up our level of talent so we can compete. On that level, we have to be able to do that, because that's the thing, is when I was going through the league that I was watching. I'm watching for, okay, what's the difference? And there's some differences. We have some kids that can compete, like Jaylin, of course, it's not an issue. So that using him as an easy example, because he's right here. So we have guys that can definitely hold their own and compete for sure. We want to try to build a roster where we get more guys that are capable of doing that as well.
Last question from Matt.
Jaylin, you talked, I'm coming back next year. What's going to be your message? You're going to almost be like a recruiter in a sense for Johnny going out there. What's going to be your message to players who may be interested in coming to UCF next year about what you guys want to accomplish?
That it's a no plan zone. Everything that we do is going to be very serious. Everything that this man say you're going to follow. Everything that I'm doing, you're going to follow. And if you're not doing that, then you're not going to play. You're not going to play, point blank, period. So we're going to compete every day. Every day is going to be a high level practice, level 5 practice, as we would say. No dropouts, not coming into practice and not wanting to practice, not coming into practice, not listening to Coach Dawkins, not coming to practice where we, just the normal team, but just making sure they follow my standard and his standard.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, guys.